So, hey guys, it's Big Ben Moto Vlogs here. How is everybody doing? Today I am going to review my 2017 MT-09, and it's going to be kind of like a first impressions included. Roll tape.
No way! I got bullshit on that! I need an MRI! I've got soft tissue damage! There's no way I don't have soft tissue damage!
Okay, so this is the Yamaha MT-09 2017 Hello Train in the lovely tech black. There is other colours that you can get. I've done just over 900 miles, so I've got a good little feeling of what the bike can do. I'll go over some little specs first. So it's an 847cc triple engine, so that engine puts out 113 brake horsepower, which is pretty decent. Along with this 113 brake, it has 64 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty decent, and it is a very torquey triple engine. Such a nice go to it, you know, it just punches you along. So nice, and it is smooth, even at its lower kind of rev range, and even at its higher rev range as well. The tyres on these are a 120 front and a 180 back, both Dunlops Sport Max D214. Pretty decent, you know. I've ridden them in cold weather, hot weather, you know, soaking wet roads, damp roads, and very sticky roads as well. So, but they performed very well. The weight of the bike's 193 kilos. Obviously, probably a little bit less with obviously the exhaust that was taken off, the tail tidy piece that was taken off, or the tail piece that was taken off as well. But again, with most bikes, you don't really feel it until it gets kind of past that point where you're just like, oh god, it's going over. But it's not a heavy bike when you do take it around corners. Fuel on these, it's not too bad. You know, it is a very thirsty girl. It is a very thirsty bike. But it has a 14-litre tank, so it's not the biggest tank. But again, it is quite a wide tank on these, as you can see, quite a wide looking tank. But it's 14 litres. Out of that 14-litre tank, I normally get around 53 miles per gallon. Maybe a bit less, depending on if I'm hooning it a bit, and depending on who I'm with. And out of that, you probably get about 120 miles, maybe about 130, 135, again, depending on what you're doing. But what I'm going to do first is give you a little bit of a push around and knock and tell you what everything's really made out of. The one thing I like, I haven't, my last three bikes have been plastic tanks, but it's nice to have a metal tank. The finish is quite nice. It does give you a little bit of a sparkle in the correct light, so it's a very nice little reflection on it. Yes, these are that's metal, mostly plastic parts around the body panels, but obviously if you do fall over, then you don't really want to be replacing metal parts. So yeah, they are plastic. But they're sturdy, very sturdy. The seat is quite nice and comfortable. The seat is quite well padded. A lot of people with these bikes do go for like the shad seats or the Yamaha comfort seats. But to be honest, I quite like this one. I haven't really gone on any long trips yet. But even the stock MT-07 seat I didn't have any problems with. Obviously all seats, you can't really sit down for 3 hours in a go, like, and not going to feel a little bit stiff, like. But overall, pretty decent, to be honest, pretty decent. So, main features on the bike. So, they changed a couple of things this year, like I said, but they've put on the quick shifter. If you check out my last video of is the stock MT-09 quick shifter any good, have a look at that. But yeah, it is a really good little quick shifter on it, but I'm glad they added in. They've also added in the slipper clutch this year as well, so that means it's a very, very light clutch. Actually, once you're riding along, you can use one finger to change gears. They've also added in a LED twin front headlight. I got flies on there, everything already. Ugh. Yeah, twin LED front headlights. So they got that transformer kind of look, and obviously they got the LED running light. And when you do get everything running, and you got obviously full lights, you've got top 2, bottom 2, and running lights. Obviously this year as well, they put a new sort of like a mud tail tidy piece on it. It kind of came up here and went across the back. Should have a picture of it here. Looked pretty cool, but I did take it off only because of where I'm storing it and didn't fit properly, so kind of took that off and replaced it with a mustard tail tidy, which I've also made a video about that as well. You can look back. So most of the MT-09s, these obviously in previous years as well, obviously you've had the mode selector, and last year had the traction control, but previous years didn't, so they got traction control on it as well. So that's kind of like the main features of the bike. The suspension is quite a nice setup. Obviously you got adjustable suspension in the front, and you got adjustable suspension in the back. So I'll give you a quick look at the clocks now. What you got on your front, which is, you know, it's not an overcomplicated setup. It's quite a simple setup to go through. Full beams, your dip beams and your full beams. You got your traction control. On these ones you can go up or down, and I believe if you hold it in one certain direction, then you can turn off the traction control. You got your hazard lights, you got your mode selector, so you can press that through, and you've got your starter button. So it is quite a simple little setup. So once you get it on, so you've always got your quick shifter light on, you got your neutral light, and your ABS light goes on off after about 10 miles an hour, I believe. So you got your rev, you got your gear you're in, how many miles you've done, what the time is, your speed, what traction control mode you're on. So you can just, with these ones, you just flick up or flick up and down, and I believe if you hold up, it turns it off and the traction light comes on. And obviously just turn it back on just by pushing back down. Same with the mode selector, so you can just go between B, which is kind of like a rain mode, standard, which is kind of like best of B and the best of A, in kind of like a little bit of a sportier package, and A is just like a lunatic mode. Obviously I got the Aprokovich on this exhaust on this bike, so it is obviously going to sound nice. A lot of people do go for lots of different kind of exhausts. Your main one that people do go for is the Aprokovich, and obviously it does sound nice with the triple little whine as well. Any exhaust that you put on this little beast is just gonna sound amazing. Always is going to be. And obviously if you do want to show off doing a bit of pops, put it in standard or A mode, you do get the best out of it. Just to let you know. But do a little bit of on-road riding now. Going to tell you what the handling is like, you know, how comfortable it is riding, and go through a couple of little points. See you soon, guys. Once you get going, it feels quite a nice bike. You know, it's lovely to handle. Even when going over bumps, it's really comfortable. You know, you're not going to go in really quick over them, like, but it's a good little set of suspension. I have put that suspension up to 1 below hard, which is 6. I think it's between 1 and 7, I believe. So it's on 6. So it's a decently hard suspension I put it on, but I much prefer it that way. Because I hate the whirlwind kind of effect that you get with the default setup suspension. But it comes with the tool in the kit, so just pull it down a few times, or push it up a few times, and then that suspension gets hardened. So going at low speeds, and the one thing that they've improved this year, if you've watched my my videos on the 2013 MT-09, the one thing that they've greatly improved is the usability of the throttle. Because at this kind of low speed with the 2013 one, you'd be going, it'd be like I'm turning the throttle on and off all the time. That's what it would feel like. You know, whatever kind of setting you went into, it would be like that. because you could hold it like that, and it was kind of like, it wasn't like a smooth let off like it does now. It would literally be like, it would feel like, I mean, like you were doing that all the time, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I don't want to say that it was horrible, but it was. But generally, just going around streets, because this is what it's made for, you know, it's made for the weekend fun and just commuting. It's just made for that kind of thing. It's not a all-out track machine, which it can be if it wants to, but it's not that. It's not that. And if it is raining, chuck it into that B mode, and it just makes riding in the rain so much easier. Because obviously with a higher brake horsepower bike, you know, slipping that wheel is a lot easier than normal. And going back to my previous video, if you look at the speeds that this bike can achieve, even in first, second, whatever gear you want to be in, it's just a mental case. But it's a fun mental case. Yeah, when you kind of do a first sit on this bike, because obviously I've test ridden quite a few bikes, the first time I sat on it, it just felt so weird. I don't know, because the MT-07, you're kind of like sitting much more into the bike. You're kind of flat down into it, but this one, you're kind of sitting a bit more above it. You're kind of a lot more straight up. But that means that it's actually quite a comfortable bike to ride once you get over that kind of like little bit of a weird period. But the seat height on these are 820mm. So 820mm, which is kind of like standard for this kind of bike. It feels like it is a little bit taller than what the MT-07 was, just by a little bit. Because I'm 5'10", I fit on it quite comfortably. Sometimes I do kind of have to lean off to the left a little bit more than normal. And I don't flat foot it like the MT-07 was. But if you are worrying about height on these bikes, you can get them lowered, but probably wouldn't suggest quite a low slung exhaust. I wouldn't suggest it then, because it can get quite low, these bikes can. But you can see city riding is simple. City riding is quite fun, because it's obviously not best to ride one-handed, but you can see how easy this bike is just one-handed. And that slipper clutch, oh my god, it is so nice to use. One finger, and I can switch up lovely and easy, no issues at all. So a couple of little recommended mods that I would do for this bike, pretty much nearly as soon as you get it, to be honest. Now it's up to you whether you want to change that tail tidy or not. I did. Tail tidies are getting cheaper. Mine was about 130 quid, same as the official Yamaha. But again, you can change it whatever you would like to do with it. For a lot of people do like that tailpiece behind, or the number plate behind the back wheel. I would definitely get a radiator guard, 100%. There's one thing that this bike needs, is a radiator guard, and I put the front and rear extenders on as well, just to stop the mud flicking up, or you know, if you do ride in the rain quite a bit. I'll see if it will allow me to, so this traffic will actually allow me to go on a quicker road. I'll show you what this kind of acceleration is like. It's a mental bike to be on. But again, an exhaust, it's quite a quiet bike with the stock exhaust on. It's very, very quiet bike. Putting one on, Black Widow's doing very well at the moment, especially with the quality. There's a lot of people getting those Black Widows. And when people say this thing is a wheelie machine, I haven't wheelied the bike because I know what would happen if I probably do. But yes, it is a wheelie machine. Would I recommend it to brand new riders out there? Maybe not. Not brand new riders. Probably suggest to somebody maybe it's their second bike, maybe after a year. Or you know, if you're coming from an A2 up to a big bike, then yeah, I would probably say that as well. But somebody maybe that's just got their license, possibly not, because it is a little bit of a beast to handle. You know, probably because it is light as well. You know, it's not heavy whatsoever. It's quite a light bike at 193 kilos, taking a few kilos off here and there once you get your performance parts on. But I would 100% recommend one. If you're not sure, go to a Yamaha dealer and ask for a test ride. If you don't get a yes on the first one, go to another one, because for these kinds of bikes, if it's not a sports bike, then there shouldn't be a recommended amount of time to have your full license in. You should just be able to go, look, I'm interested in the MT-09, can I have a test ride? The second the Yamaha dealer I went to, I barely even had to ask. He just asked me, had I been on one? And I said no. And he said, you got your license on you? I said yes, and there we are. You know, and that kind of tipped it over the edge for me to actually get one, because I really wanted one then once I had given that a test ride. Because I said to myself, this time around, if I was going to get a new bike, I would have to test ride as many as I possibly could first. Maybe not all the bikes that I wanted to buy, but I test rode as many as I could. So I then know I'm happy with the purchase that I made. Because obviously I want to keep this bike a bit longer than a year this time, compared to my MT-07. But I would definitely recommend these bikes. You know, any bike person that I talk to has either been on an MT-09 or is looking to get an MT-09 or possibly own one at a certain point. But any questions you have, please fire them my way, because I do know a little bit about the MT-09s now, since I have actually got them, since I have actually got one. And anything I've missed out, or if you wanted another review, let me know. And I will catch you very soon, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.